Have you ever suddenly remembered something embarrassing you did years ago and felt uncomfortable all over again? Maybe it was something you said in school, a mistake at work, or an awkward moment in front of others. What's strange is that you can forget what you ate yesterday, but that one moment from years ago still feels fresh. It's almost like your brain is holding on to it on purpose. The reason this happens is deeply connected to how your brain processes emotions. Your brain is not designed to remember everything equally. Instead, it prioritizes moments that are emotionally intense. Embarrassment is a strong emotional experience because it involves fear of judgment, social rejection, and self-awareness. When you feel embarrassed, your brain treats it as something important, almost like a warning signal. It marks that moment as something you should not repeat in the future. This is part of your brain's survival system. Humans are social beings, and being accepted by others has always been important for survival. Thousands of years ago, being rejected by your group could mean danger or even death. So your brain evolved to pay extra attention to social mistakes. Even today, that system is still active. When you experience embarrassment, your brain reacts as if it's something serious, even if it's actually a small or harmless moment. Another reason you remember embarrassing moments is because of how memory works. Your brain stores memories more strongly when they are tied to emotions. This is why emotional events, whether good or bad, are easier to recall. Embarrassing moments often combine strong emotions with vivid details, making them easier to remember. Your brain essentially tags these memories as important, so they stay longer and come back more easily. But here's where it gets interesting. Your brain doesn't just store these memories, it replays them. This replay system is meant to help you learn from past experiences. By revisiting what happened, your brain tries to figure out what went wrong and how to avoid it next time. However, this process can backfire. Instead of learning once and moving on, your brain can get stuck in a loop, replaying the same moment again and again. This is why embarrassing memories often come back at random times, especially when you're alone or trying to sleep. During the day, your mind is busy with tasks, conversations, and distractions. But at night, when everything becomes quiet, your brain has more space to wander. That's when these old memories can resurface. It's not that you're choosing to think about them. Your brain is simply filling the silence. What makes this even more frustrating is how real these memories feel. When you remember an embarrassing moment, your body can react as if it's happening again. You might feel a sudden wave of discomfort, tension, or even anxiety. This happens because your brain doesn't fully distinguish between past and present when recalling emotional experiences. It reactivates the same emotional response, making the memory feel alive. However, there is an important truth that most people don't realize. The embarrassing moments you remember so clearly are usually not remembered by others. While you might replay that one awkward thing you said, the people around you have likely forgotten it completely. Everyone is too focused on their own lives, their own mistakes, and their own thoughts. What feels like a huge moment to you is often just a small, forgettable detail to someone else. This creates a kind of illusion. Your brain makes the memory feel bigger and more important than it actually is. It exaggerates the situation, making you believe it matters more than it does. This is why you might feel embarrassed about something that no one else even noticed. Your brain is trying to protect you, but in doing so, it sometimes creates unnecessary stress. So how do you deal with this? The first step is awareness. Understanding that this is just how your brain works can already reduce the intensity of these memories. When an embarrassing thought comes up, instead of fighting it, you can recognize it for what it is, a replay, not reality. This simple shift in perspective can weaken its impact. Another helpful approach is to change how you respond to the memory. Instead of seeing it as something negative, you can reframe it. That moment doesn't define you. In fact, it shows that you're human. Everyone has awkward, embarrassing experiences. It's part of life. When you start to see it this way, the memory loses its power. You can also interrupt the replay loop. When your mind starts going back to that moment, shift your focus to something else. This could be your breathing, a task, or even a different thought. The goal is not to suppress the memory, but to avoid getting stuck in it. Over time, this reduces how often it comes back. It's also important to remember that growth comes from experience. The fact that you feel embarrassed about something usually means you've learned and changed. If you look back at your past self and feel uncomfortable, it often means you've improved. In a way, those embarrassing moments are signs of progress, not failure. Finally, try to bring your attention back to the present. Your life is happening now, not in the past. The more you focus on what you're doing today, the less control those old memories will have over you. Your brain may still bring them up occasionally, but they won't feel as powerful. At the end of the day, that embarrassing moment you keep thinking about is just a small part of your story. It doesn't define who you are. And most importantly, it's probably something that only you remember. So the next time it comes to your mind, take a step back and ask yourself, does this really matter anymore? And now I'm curious, what's one embarrassing moment you still remember?